peeps. Welcome to another episode of the Age Groupies Podcast, part of the United WeCast Network. I'm Lindsay Hiken, and along with my co-host Mike Ergo, I am here to talk to you about all things related to endurance sports from an amateur athlete perspective, about living that multi-sport lifestyle, and to share the other random thoughts that pop into our heads. You can follow the show on Instagram at Age Groupies, join our Age Groupies page on Facebook, and look us up by name, Lindsay Hiken and Mike Ergo on Strava. If you have questions, comments, or topic ideas, feel free to email us at agegroupies@gmail.com. And if you enjoy the show, please leave a rating or review on iTunes or wherever you get your podcast. So today we don't have a guest, it's just me and Mike chatting about a bunch of random things. Mike did an Alcatraz swim lately. I share with you guys what I'm up to and my current training schedule. We talk about different ways to fit training in with a busy work and family life schedule. And Mike shares his experience of getting his first pedicure, which was pretty interesting. So hope you enjoy it. Take a listen. Let's do it.
Yeah. Well, why don't we start off by checking in? I mean, I've been pretty busy. You've been pretty busy. What's been on your training schedule and race schedule?
Oh my God. I have okay, so I signed up for that big thing next year, the Trans Rockies run, which is that 120-mile run.
Sounds easy. 120 miles at elevation.
Yeah, so I'm doing that. I'm super excited. So that's like my big event that's out there. And because it's 6 days in a row of running at altitude, I am getting to the point where I'm going to be shifting my focus to mostly running from multi-sport. But before I do that, I have a couple of my friends that were at Ironman Santa Rosa that spectating who wanted to do a race. They aren't triathletes. They did one sprint a long time ago. They were doing, we're all the three of us going to go do the Women's Triathlon Festival in Folsom this this weekend? No, next weekend.
That sounds pretty fun.
Yeah.
Beginning of September?
Yes, the 7th.
I'll be racing that weekend too.
What are you doing?
The Ukiah Sprint Triathlon.
Awesome. Yeah, so we're both sprinting that weekend, which will be fun. I love it. Yeah, super, super excited. That said, I haven't done any real focus training since Ironman. I mean, I've been doing stuff, a little swimming, quite a bit of running, a little tiny bit of riding because my knees are still having issues on the bike but I did have a good ride on Sunday, slow, but did some climbing and with no knee pain. So I'm happy about that.
So feel good.
It felt good to not wake up the next day with aching knees. I was like, okay, what a relief. Of course, I mean, so incredibly slow, but whatever. So yeah, my training's been a little all over the place. I've been trying to roll in a bunch of strength because I know that to actually support my knees and everything else, and just that I'm an old bitch, for the running 120 miles, I'm going to need to be strong. So, had a little talk with my coach about it, and because I had looked at some ultra distance training plans, and he was like, yeah, but that's for runners only. You're a multi-sport athlete, so you can build endurance other ways. You don't have to just run. And that's a good point. So I'm kind of working on getting my basic skeleton for training in place now. And this is on Tim's advice. Just if I'm going to do 4 days of running and 3 days of strength and 2 days of swimming, for example, that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. And then some stretching in there. Then, to start getting that in place so that I'm comfortable with that schedule, and everyone, my family, speaking of family, are comfortable with that schedule.
Yes.
And that then in the, come February, I'm going to start slowly ratcheting up the distances. So right now it's just going to be a little bit of, just getting more of, not so much focused on how long or fast or anything like that, but more of I run every Tuesday evening and I run every Sunday morning, and I do so that everyone's kind of getting on the same page.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. Your body gets used to it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So I'm kind of trying to get that in order, but I'm also going to Cabo here in a few weeks. So right after that Women's Triathlon Festival. So my actual getting things together won't happen until I get back from Cabo.
Well, you have time.
I do, but you know what? A year goes by fast, right?
Yeah, it does if you're having fun.
It does. And I mean, next August, and it sounds crazy, but it'll be here before I know it. And I'll be like, oh my God. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that's true. A year goes by fast if you're having fun or if you have something really big planned. And then it's like, oh my God, 2 weeks before I have to do all the stuff I said I was going to do 8 months ago.
Well, because the thing about this race is that besides the distances, I mean, there's a lot of logistics to kind of contend with. I mean, yes, they do pack up your tent and bring it to the next location and set it up for you, which is totally awesome. And they've got shower trucks and stuff there, so you're not totally grimy. But and they do have some aid stations throughout the day, but it's pretty like for the most part self-sufficient on the days. During the days of, when you're running. So I need to be prepared for like altitude and just being alone out there, like with my gear, what I'm going to be using, what it's going to be comfortable to run in, what I'm going to wear if it rains. Cause there's a couple of the legs where in order to start that stage that day at the start line, they do a gear check and you have to have a certain like waterproof thing stuff because the weather is just like all over the map.
When you're on top of the mountains? Yeah.
Yeah, because we're going up Leadville and above. So like we're going to be like the whole race takes place between 8,000 and 13,000 feet. And so there's a couple of days where we're in that 11,000, 12,000, 13,000 foot range. And, the weather's just like sun and now I'm snowing on you. Now I'm raining and then I'm hot. You know what I mean? So it's just, so that I just have to kind of get into a rhythm with my training and then also start figuring out like, the logistics and what I need to learn. Like, I guess I've been told I need to learn how to kind of use those sticks, that people,
oh, yes.
Yes. I've never run with those. I mean, I've got to go practice and someone's like, oh, you don't really need to practice, but you do, because I could see myself tripping over my own stick.
Yeah, exactly.
Out, right. So,
Wait, so if you wear those sticks, do you have to wear like an Indiana Jones hat too?
I just can't. Here's the thing. I'm black, so I don't need to like protect the back of my neck as much as
as I do. What are you trying to say?
So I'm probably not going to do that hat.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it to anyone under the age of 70.
Unless you're ghostly white and we don't want skin cancer. We don't want to promote.
If you're ghostly white, you should just wear a burqa like I do when I'm at the beach.
Yeah, so that's really all I got going on. What about yourself?
I am training up for Ironman 70.3 Xiamen, which will be in China.
Wow.
That's in November. Yeah, I'm stoked.
You're a beast. You know what? My friend Heidi and I, we rode the other day and we were talking. She was at, she did Santa Rosa, did really well. I think she did like an 11:20 or something.
That is awesome.
Like she's beast, but she rode up that climb the other day with me super slow on her bike and was like not even breaking a sweat, and I haven't been on my bike and I was dying. And I was like, okay, this is bull. But she and I were talking about how like you already did, you've already done races since Santa Rosa, and that she and I both been kind of like, she's actually been training, just doing long rides and stuff, but not doing any races. And I was saying how like you already got all ready back into beast mode, and I'm still kind of just chilling.
Well, to be fair to Heidi, she did a 37-mile run on her birthday.
No, she's been doing a lot of stuff. It's just not sanctioned races. Not
an official race, just out on the trails. Logging miles.
Point. I didn't even bring that up to her. She's like, I mean, Mike, she's like, he already did it at 70.3. And I'm like, yeah, but I forgot. Yeah, she already ran 37. So forget it. You're both.
I'll do 26.2, maybe 26.3 if you're counting like hobbling over to the tent and sitting down.
Special needs, yeah.
Yeah, past that, I'm not walking or running more. And then over this last weekend, I just did an Alcatraz swim. That was fun.
I want to hear all about it. I saw some pictures for you.
Yes, I will. So surprisingly, the water was pretty warm, and it must have been in the 60s because I run hot. Mm-hmm. I was expecting it to be a little chillier.
Yeah.
And it was, pleasantly surprising. I was actually flushing out my suit quite a bit, just kind of tugging at the neckline. Mm-hmm. And getting some of that cold water in, but it was fun. I felt great. I mean, I'd been doing some swimming a couple times a week, but it's been off and on for me with just work schedule. So I felt good. it was about 1.25 miles and got it in 35 minutes. For me is super fast. So it felt fun.
That's awesome. So were you on the boat that they take you out there and then you jump off
It was the red and white ferry. Yeah. So it was like a legit ferry boat with seats and everything. And the last time I've done it, this is my 4th time doing it. And this is really one of the things besides a half marathon that really launched me into the idea of doing long distance triathlon. Cause it's about 1.3 or 1.4 if you're really getting carried by the current. But that was my intro into swimming. I didn't swim in pools before that. I just basically had a Vietnam vet kind of subtly call me out and say, this is the 7th year of what we call Take the Rock, and it's a swim for veterans and active duty and family members.
So you had a vet basically call you out, and so you were like, I'm going to go do this Take the Rock thing, even though I don't really.
He basically called me a panoche to my face, and he said, he comes in and I know this guy, nice Vietnam vet, Army, and I'm Marine Corps. So there's always this, rivalry there. And he goes, hey, here's what I'm thinking of doing. I want to get a group of vets together and we'll train up. We'll get ready for this and we'll take a boat out to Alcatraz. Then we'll all jump off of the boat into the water and then we'll swim back to the shore of San Francisco, an aquatic park.
Why not?
And yeah. And he looks at me like, what do you say? And in my head, that's a solid no. It's freezing. I know what the water's like, and I don't like swimming. This is 2013 me. I was like, I don't know how to swim really well. I don't like it. And then, don't sharks eat people there?
I mean, for real though.
Didn't they never find? Yeah, exactly. Don't sharks come up and eat people? Mm-hmm. And he's like, that's cool. I take Boy Scouts out there and maybe they just like it for the merit badges, but they have a good time. But I can, if I can tell maybe it's not your thing. And I was like, ooh. So of course I was doing it. And I thought I'd do it just to, say I did it. And the idea sounded cool to be done with it. Right. Mm-hmm. But then I really enjoyed doing it. So I was there the first, second, third, fourth, years, and this is my 4th time. A lot of the times, the years I trained up with everybody.
Yeah.
And this is the 4th year I've actually done the swim on the day of the swim. So
awesome. So a couple of thoughts I had on that. The first thought is I could see how, like, for a bunch of veterans, this would be like a nice challenge, but not, it can't be as challenging as what a lot of you have been through in terms of fears, like physical fear. I feel like you describe being in like urban combat. I feel like that this Alcatraz swim has to be significantly less scary than that. I would think. I don't know.
Yeah. No. Well, it's a different kind of fear because it's the unknown.
Because I was going to say, for me, I'm basically a weakling. Like, I've never done, I can't say like, oh, well, I've been in combat and that I'm like I literally can't think of anything scarier ever that's happened, really. And well, maybe some stuff that went down when I was drinking alcohol. Outside of that, but I had, I had the glaze of.
Exactly. So you're not scared. You're like, oh, I'll be all right.
So in sobriety, like, I really haven't. So there's nothing for me I don't have that. I wouldn't call it advantage, but I don't have that thing of like, oh, I've done other scarier stuff.
Well, one thing that I think happens to vets who come back with PTSD, and it's not all vets. It's most of the vets I see professionally, as a therapist, but it's, between 20 to 30% of vets. So definitely a minority, but people come back with trauma and have, anxiety disproportionate to a situation. If they are confused by what's happening or give in to the fear and say, okay, I'm not going to do that thing because I'm feeling fear in my body, sometimes your world gets smaller. So sometimes it is about fear, but more than that, it's about, I think what the draw to this though is just the connection with other veterans and other people doing something physical. So just like group PT in the morning, and, shared experience of doing something difficult. That's the big draw. And then the big draw too of like, that sounds like something that, I can tell my friends about. That would be pretty cool. And there's definitely that, okay, yeah, I know how to operate weapons and shoot, move, and communicate, but there's sharks out there is what in everybody's mind. And there's a current that can suck you through the Golden Gate Bridge or over towards Oakland.
Right.
The other way.
See, that's as we've talked about so many times on this podcast already, but that is the thing that I have the hardest time with is overcoming the fear of the unknown, or like just, I have sharks in my head,
Yeah.
Unless I'm swimming in a, lake or something, which then I love and fully enjoy the open water swim. But it's that I have a very active imagination, and
yeah, I can exactly. Like I was looking down into the murky water, and you can see a few feet down, and then I'm just thinking, yeah, a shark could come up and eat me, but I usually would just bring it up first. Like I was telling people on Friday, they're like, "Hey, you coming to the thing on Saturday, right?" Like, yeah, I'll be there. Unless a shark bites me to death and I die on Saturday morning. I'm hoping it doesn't happen. Hasn't happened to anyone yet in the history of open water swimming in the bay. But if I don't come back, it's probably because I got bit to death by a shark.
But I mean, it's not like they don't go into the bay.
Oh yeah, they're in there. And then, it's funny, I was like telling people, no, sharks don't go in the bay. They're not there. And then that video came out of this like shark just demolishing a seal, like a seal, and just flipping around. And the people on the pier were like, oh, hell no, man. Oh, look at that. Look at all that blood. And this is like a couple of weeks after we did that swim, right where the boat drops us off.
Right, of course. Yeah, I had heard that at one point. Oh, sharks don't go in the bay. And I'm like, so the shark is swimming and it goes, oh, oh.
Oh, that's that Golden Gate shadow. Turn back, boys. Turn around. We're not allowed in here.
Because we give a shit about what humans are doing.
Exactly. They told us not to come in here.
Oh my God. Well, that is awesome. I saw a picture that you posted of like your feet. Like what was that picture?
Oh, yeah. Well, as Heidi reminded me this morning when I put that up on Facebook, is we're talking, I said I was going to take care of my feet and get myself a pedicure. Oh. So on Sunday morning, I went to my local pedicure place and I asked the nice Vietnamese lady, do you do pedicures for men? She said, yes, you sit here. And she sat down and I didn't know what to do. I'm just kind of looking around, and she took care of me and we just tapped.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I got my toenails clipped. And
did you put that on our Instagram?
Not yet. It's coming. I wanted us to discuss it first and share this moment.
So listeners, if you have a foot fetish or just want to see Mike's feet.
If you have a hairy hobbit foot fetish, I got some toe hair.
Be sure to follow us on our Instagram page, Age Groupies, or our Facebook page, Age Groupies, and you can see Mike's pedicure pictures.
All right, so
let's think? Real quick. I just want to know what'd you think, because I love it.
Let's get into this pedicure. I think pedicures are some bullshit. No. I'm not getting my toenails painted. That's the thing. I know how to clip my toenails. Actually, that was the nice part there. But what I was really hoping, and maybe it's just because my feet have really thick pad calluses, and I'm expecting to have like a buffer taken to it, or like at least one of those pumice stones, and get off all this dead skin.
Shouldn't do that.
Just a little bit, just a little kind of. It's almost like someone patting you on the back and call it a massage. I was like, oh, lady, have you seen my feet?
Oh, you didn't go to the right place.
Oh, really? So,
oh no, there's lots of different places that you could go and get. They even have the one where the little fish will eat that stuff off your feet.
Yeah, I've heard of that, and I've heard because I was talking to my sister-in-law, and she got that done in Greece, and I wanted to have that forever because, as you probably know by now, I just like weird stuff.
Yeah. That's definitely like a good post.
They don't do that in the U.S. anymore, I hear. At least.
Oh, did they stop?
Sanctioned.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, I get it, I guess, but that's a bummer. Because I was gonna say that's a really great post-race, like thing to have little fish eat this.
That's what I want. Maybe I'll just buy my own goldfish and just put my feet in a little pond and have them.
But I have to say this. So I regularly get pedicures because I think as a woman in endurance sports, not all of us want to have like runner foot. Like some of us still want to maintain some of our, girliness and have some cute toes, even though we run long distance. And so pedicures are a great way to do that because they take care of your toenails and keep them from falling off and keep them cut and painted. Or if they fall off, they can like put a fake one on there.
Glue them back on for you.
Yeah. At any given time, not all of my toenails may not all be my actual toenails, but you'll never know. So you can't tell. But the experience I have with I go to the same woman I've gone to for like a decade and I've had to train her not to take all of my running calluses all the way off because what happens is she'll get them so smooth. And then the next time I put my running shoes on, I've got like fire foot all over where I need to now I have no callus left and I have to remove calluses. So I've had to train my woman not to take all of it off because you don't want that as an athlete.
Oh man. Well, the bottom or at least the sides of my feet, well, you might not experience this often, but your white friends that get sunburned and the skin peels off. That's what the sides of my feet look like at any given time. And my wife will see me take my socks and shoes off and so I just wanted some of that dealt with. So maybe pedicures aren't that bad. Maybe they're legit. You just got to find the right person. Like you find the right barber or hairstylist. Is that it?
Yeah, it's one of those deals where you got to go to a couple different places or get a recommendation from somebody and go to one because they're absolutely like so good. And you get the one that they do the massage on your foot after they've done all that. And yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. The place I go to sucks then.
Yeah. If you're down here by me, you can go to Kim in Palo Alto. If you need her number, hit me up. Anybody who's listening, she's freaking amazing.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I need our Sonoma County listeners to ladies, what are we doing? Where are we going for our pedicures? Let me know.
Okay. Well, this podcast took an unexpected turn.
Well, I figured it was time. I've been saying I was going to do it, and I left disappointed, but it felt good. My feet felt clean, but I was really hoping for a little bit more. Okay,
you're going to have to give it another try. Definitely. Ask your wife. She probably knows what a good place to go. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit because you mentioned it. You were saying, and I know this has been definitely the case for me. Best ways to fit in a workout during a busy day. Like because I know you mentioned that you've had some busy schedule lately.
Yes. Best ways to fit like workouts in during your day. I think you start out by taking a look at your week and as opposed to my experience maybe a few years ago of just waking up and being like, all right, what's on the schedule for today? Instead of that, looking at it maybe Sunday night and plan on exactly when you're going to do it. Plan out when you're going to get up and how much time you need to get ready. Because those early morning ones, it's way too easy to say, okay, I'm going to run from 6 to 7. So I'll wake up at 6. No, that's not happening.
Right.
I think one of a cool pro tip is you sleep with your running shorts on and you wake right up and you're like, I'm ready to go.
How about the shoes too? Just keep the shoes on as well.
Shoes, yeah. I've slept with my boots on, but that was in a different country where people were shooting at me. So now I take my shoes off when I sleep.
I have passed out / fallen asleep after fancy parties where I drank too much in like full high heels and just had my foot in that like high heel, like stuffed into that shoe all night and woken up with my feet like that. I mean, the hangover was bad. So, and I was like crippled on top of it.
So you probably, when you hit mile 18 on Ironman, you're like, I felt this before. Can't be that bad.
This ain't compared to waking up with a hangover and your foot stuffed into some hooker shoes. No, this is a piece of cake.
Another good way to fit in training during the day is to plan a run for lunchtime. And I am able to get away for an hour, sometimes more. So having that ready during the day. So sometimes if I know I'm going to run, I will wear my running shorts again as chonies under my nice work clothes and then take off from there, or just have everything ready. I think the key is you have everything ready so you're not digging around to get that stuff out, because it's easy to turn 2, 3, 4, into 15 minutes of just useless time.
Yeah.
Looking for gear. So I lay my stuff out the night before.
Yep. Me too. I kind of do the same thing. I have a general idea. I like to plan. So I have a general outline of when I'm going to do whatever. If I'm training for something specific. So, like right now after Ironman, I took some time to just do whatever. And I was doing that, like whatever I feel like doing when I wake up is what I'm going to do. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Cause I feel like I need to have some time in my year where I don't have to do anything,
That's huge. That is huge.
Yeah. So I'm in that phase right now. Like after Ironman, I'm just like, whatever. I'm going to do a little riding, a little yoga. I've been doing a bunch of power yoga. I'm just like, whatever. But like I mentioned, when I get back from Cabo in mid-September, I'm going to start, reforming my schedule. So like I have a general schedule built out on my calendar so that I know if my plan is that I'm going to run 4 days, do 3 strengths, 2 swims, and like 2 stretching sessions. I have them generally planned out around things that so like I know I'm going to do Tuesday night track. I'm going to do Sunday long run. Like I have a general plan.
Yeah, right.
But
me too.
Then on like Sunday, or even sometimes Monday morning if I don't get to it, but I try to do it on Sunday. I look at what my week's going to look like, and I may have to move things around, but at least they're already on the calendar. So like that way it's like, oh, I can't do this run then, but I move it. So I don't end up looking back and going, oh wait, I only did 1 run. I meant to do 4.
Yeah. That's what I loved. The first 70.3 that I did, the first half Ironman, I had a book where it had 2 flex days. So where you could either do, the second workout, like a Tuesday or a Wednesday or a Thursday or a Friday. So that helped out a lot, having those flex days built in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then for me, like if you have like a long run or the long ride, for this typical Ironman schedule, I have my days off scheduled for Sundays for family.
That's nice.
Yeah. So, but if I'm doing something on a Saturday with family, then okay, then I'll do that big one on the Sunday.
I plan my day off too. My day off is always Monday, or not always, but it's usually Monday. Because I like to do the long run combo. I don't have young kids anymore, so I can do it whenever. So I just like take Monday I have to work and stuff, but I at least get to, I can sleep in a little bit. I have a flexible work schedule right now. So, but I think it's important to put your day off on your calendar along with your workouts, or you will end up with no days off. Like when I first started, I was so excited all the time about doing everything. And for whatever reason in my mind, a swim workout wasn't a workout. I don't know why. Like I was just like, swim's not a workout, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like if I swim, I didn't do anything. And what kind of happened is I kind of ran myself into the ground because on my quote unquote days off, I was swimming a full master's workout. And even though, it's not as hard as doing a long run or something, if that's your day off all the time, that after a couple months of that, I was pretty burned out, right?
Yeah, you get tendonitis in your elbow and
I just got, I was just
blow your shoulders up.
It's like, and then I couldn't do anything well, right? What else do I do? Sometimes also, at least as I'm aging, I alluded to or mentioned it earlier in the podcast, but I need to do a little more cross training now to support some of the stuff I'm doing, like more strength to support the the running and cycling. And so you don't need an hour to do those. You can do a strength workout in 30 minutes or something if you have a good regimen down. So that's another like high value thing that you could add in on a day where you're just crunched for time. And
you can do that at the office. You really can.
Yeah, you can totally do that at the office. You can do it at home and early. That it doesn't have to be light out. You don't need any, you can just do it anytime. And also, then the flexibility piece is the other side of that, which is also like you could do that in 30 minutes of like really focused stretching, rolling, all of the things that you need to do to support. Because I think I should speak for myself. I want to just only do the endurance stuff. Like I just only want to run and just only ride and just swim.
Yes.
A lot of the time, and there was a time in my life where I could probably get away with that for a little while, but that's time has passed. And so if my goal is to continue to participate in the sport for the long run, I need to strength and also flexibility. Like I need to work on, and my coach just recommended a book called You Are a Supple Leopard.
Ooh, I have that. Yes.
He's like, order it. So I ordered it. First of all, this huge box came from Amazon and it weighed 5,000 pounds. And I'm like, what is it? What? And Josh is like, what'd you order? I'm like,
it's a big book with lots of pictures.
Huge. The book. Okay. First of all, just lifting the book is a strength workout. Let me just put it that way. It's massive. But I'm just starting to like try to do some of the stuff in there. Do you do any of the stuff in there?
I do a lot of those things. Those are so good. And you get to stare at this beautiful man, Kelly Starrett, with this beautiful butt chin. He's got a superhero face.
Totally.
No, I've watched a lot of his videos on Mobility WOD, and he's coming from the CrossFit world before this. I knew of him, and yes, that getting in like the couch stretch, and he just has so many different things you can do that will increase mobility.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's another thing. It's like, if you can't get in your quote unquote workout because you're busy, get in something that's high value that supports the stuff that we're doing. Like get You Are a Supple Leopard and do some of those for 20, 30 minutes while you're, just chilling with your kids, whatever, so that you get that in and still feel like you're moving the ball forward. And actually, I think you'll probably find that like you'll see some improvements that are unexpected from doing those things, those other activities. Oh,
completely. It totally supports. Like there's no lateral movement in triathlon training. We're all just going forwards. Mm-hmm. So going side to side with some of these things is huge.
I mean, I know it's hard because there's no Strava badge for doing like 20
yeah, exactly. I want to see people who log in like a plank on Strava.
I did hot yoga for an hour. I put that shit on Strava.
It's linked to, I guess, my watch. So I'm putting in my yoga sessions.
Yeah, for sure.
I really want to see how low my heart rate can get. And then just show my coach that, yes, I did do something.
That's right. I want people to know I did something.
You got to get credit for it.
So Heidi challenged me to do one little thing, which I'm going to do in September with her. Not one little thing, but I'm going to do this in September with her. And before I get my schedule up and running for Trans-Rockies training, which is to do a 5K a day of running, hiking, walking. Well, mostly running or hiking, but some of mine will be dog walking as well, because some days I need a day off.
Yes.
So we're going to start that September 1st. Anyone who wants to join us, please feel free.
I like that.
Because Heidi's, with her job, she does nutrition, but she's also an accountant. So she's in tax season right now, wrapping up tax season. So it's great for her to have just speaking of doing something busy, it's like she just made up a challenge that she can knock out in under a half an hour for her, That's pretty cool.
So she helps people with 5Ks and 401Ks.
But he will be here all night.
All week.
all week. That's hilarious. So what else? Do you have anything else you want to?
I think just for that strength or calisthenic stuff, I have a kettlebell in my garage here, and sometimes I have it at work, and I have a couple of dumbbells at work, but it doesn't have, if you think of strength workouts, like push-ups, pull-ups, planks, all that stuff, you can do those just a couple sets at a time in between tasks. So I had I'd see a client and then bang out maybe 20 push-ups or, do 10, 20 squats. And I try to, slow my breathing down. So when I go out to the lobby to see the next person, I'm not out of breath and looking sweaty.
Just a little bit creepy.
Why are you breathing heavy and sweating on me? What are you
like a sweaty upper lip and breathing hard? This guy's going to be.
What do you do in that room?
I don't want you to help me, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can just do little things here and there, and then they add up. So it doesn't have to be a half hour or an hour of just complete chaos and
focus at the gym doing a whole thing. You don't.
Yeah.
You can, and it's fun, but you don't have to.
I mean, you might have to go into the bathroom to take the selfie with your shirt off,
Oh my God.
in the mirror.
Oh my gosh. I'm so glad I was already too old to bother with any of that stuff.
I think I just missed that because cell phone cameras were crap before Sarah and I got together. So I didn't have to.
Yes. I can't even tell. And I'm grateful because I got sober before cell phones happened. Thank God.
Thank the Lord.
There are no images of that on the internet.
Yes. There's no images of that of me, but there is an image of me open mouth kissing a bulldog.
Ew.
Yeah,
you're one of those people.
Yeah.
I love my dogs to death, but I don't let their mouths anywhere near my mouth.
Because of the combination of chemicals in my body, it sounded like the perfect idea.
That's not to bring up race right at the end of our podcast, but like amongst Black people, we just look at that and go, "That's some white person shit right there."
That's some white person shit right there.
Like we don't got time to like be letting dogs lick our mouths. Like we just don't. That's not.
Yeah, exactly.
We may not have the health insurance that's required to deal with that, if anything. So we're just that's some white person. Yeah.
It is, and I fully embrace it. I don't open mouth kiss my dogs anymore, but I'll let them give me a little peck on the cheek.
Yeah, I'm good at that too. Mm-hmm. All right, well, I think we covered it. And
what's your advice for people for the week? What's one easy thing they can do?
Oh gosh, one easy thing you can do. Well, I guess people are still in race season, so I think one good thing to do, because you're probably been very focused on your sport and on the 3 disciplines. And so schedule a day off on your calendar, like this week, put it in. That's my day off. And on that day off, you can do some physical movement of your body, but make it all related to flexibility. So,
I like that.
Yeah, do some flexibility. You can look it up you can Google it, what you need to do. You can order on Amazon. You are a supple leopard, and try that. But yeah, try some flexibility. You won't be disappointed.
I like that. And I'll give our listeners another quick one. So for all of us in a relationship, buy your significant other either some flowers or something nice and a little card that says, "Thank you for allowing me to do all of this endurance training stuff."
Oh, that's good.
Or if it's a friend, get him a card. Get him something cool.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Cool. I think we're done.
Awesome. Well,
see you next week.
See you next week.
All right. Alrighty. That concludes today's episode of the Age Groupies Podcast with me, Lindsay Hiken, and my co-host, Mike Ergo. We really hope you enjoyed it. You can follow the show on Instagram at Age Groupies, join our Age Groupies page on Facebook, and look us up by name, Lindsay Hiken and Mike Ergo on Strava. If you have questions, comments, or topic ideas, feel free to email us at agegroupies@gmail.com. If you enjoy the show, please leave a rating and review on iTunes or wherever you get your podcast, as this really helps us get more exposure while we try to grow this little venture. And of course, if you have friends you think might like the show, please be sure to share it with them. But for now, thanks for listening, and we will talk to you next week.